Crypto market has been volatile, and we all know volatility makes the risk even higher. Right now, on the short term, this is what you look for Bitcoin. This is an hourly chart. We dropped all the way down towards 23,400. Now we are trying to bounce off from there, and that's our hourly chart. So you now need to look at what a higher time frame structure shows you, because this is what most of these assets are following. Right now, yes, on the daily, XRP MACD is still trying to cross to the upside, and as we all know, when the MACD tries to cross to the upside, immediately what happens? There is a price drop. So we are getting that. So if we stay positive, we can always argue with the perspective that we may go higher. But the issue here for XRP is that on a daily, right now the 20-day moving average is crossing the 200 to the downside. Or even if you just neglect the 200-day moving average, the 21-day moving average is still pointing you to the downside. So we need to see a change in that. So we are going on to the macro, where the 3-day is slowly starting to move back up. Remember last time when we were here, we were slow. But as soon as we started moving to the upside, the price got momentum. And that's what we are expecting here. As Bitcoin makes this as a new bottom, consolidate there, you will see the altcoin market going higher. Now, that's going to be something really important for all of us to keep in mind, because by the time we see the market bounce, it can be a little bit too late for you to think about entering into different assets. Because right now, this is what you are looking at in the Bitcoin dominance. Remember, we talked about this. We reached this range. Now, will we make a double top, or are we going to continue as a new trend to the upside? We'll have to wait and see. But as you zoom in, the point you're making here is that we came to the moving average, we are trying to bounce off. So in next 24 hours, we are going to get the proper clarity that way we are headed towards. Right now, we are at the trend line. And if this support holds, that means you are going to see Bitcoin and the market moving higher as a whole. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, the market is so volatile, and you still see some of these coins up ahead. Now, they did correct today with the correction in Bitcoin, but you are getting the point here. In a week, you still see all of these assets maintaining green, which is actually a great news, because right now, if you put the perspective in, like, yeah, you do get these kind of consolidation corrective actions in the market when you're going up. That should be expected, because we just got a candle like this and then a correction. So we all know that when the price goes up like this, a giant candle, a lot of people would be tempted to take the profit. So we see weak hands moving out of the market and the strong hands staying there. Look at this particular candle here. When we bounced up like this, the same happened. We had a lot of people doing the same, taking profits, trying to short, all those. But eventually what happens? Buyers come up top. Now it depends on your trend. And right now, with this, we can kind of say we are right now trending to the upside based on what we are observing here in the market. Because as you look at the general market sentiment, you are literally observing how the market is evolving. We do have volatility. There is no one denying the fact that we have that amount of volatility. But the fact that you're still maintaining on a daily, you're still maintaining this structure here is important. Because if you happen to get a break higher here, now the MACD is already in the positive territory. You see this, right? So from there, if you cross to the upside, you are going to see momentum coming into the market. And we are right now at that point. Imagine if we are going back above 25 one more time. What do you think the sellers will think? First time when you are reaching that 25,000, there will be people taking profit and guys coming into market to short this. Fine. But when you're going back up to try that again and you're trying to put in a new high, now that sellers will be cautious. Now you don't have too much people taking profits because most of them took the profits already, those who are trading short term. So you actually get reduced amount of friction in the market at that time. Now, yes, it is going to be next 24 hours which is going to determine things, and we get some kind of news in the market. The narrative is not that clear, but we still get news highlighting that, yeah, there is some movement, $400 million worth of crypto being moved. But on the other side, I'm like, okay, this guy is giving you this narrative, and he's been, at least to the level that we know as a human being, which is positive, giving all the information. Unlike, say, if you are looking at Luna, what happened, even before what happened, we actually all saw that particular guy giving on his comments about different projects in different interviews. That did not feel well. Like, he actually stated this in an interview. When I saw it, he was literally like, there is some fun or entertainment watching all the other projects go bankrupt. I'm like, okay, that's a leader of an institution saying that. And we all know eventually what happens. So, if you are a positive guy, what you want to see is the entire ecosystem thrive and support the others who are trying to build new projects. So that's one of the things which I've always seen in CC. So I'm like, okay, we really don't know what's happening, but we have seen the news that there has been a movement of $400 million. We don't know what's happening, but the market right now seems like it's shaking off. At least some of these big guys, big buyers are understanding, okay, this can be just a volatility to buy back in. Now, why is that? You can actually ask this question to yourself, like, if the market is bouncing off from here, why do you think that is? You remove all this and you're just looking at the price action, and what you see right now at this moment here is that the price came here, made a double top. Agreed. We then broke to the downside. After which you actually went down, but you made this level as your support. You bounced back up with a double bottom here, which is a textbook double bottom actually. And then you went up, hit a new area. So now you are looking at least at this trend line, which is going higher. And you're trying to bounce back from this level, which actually makes a lot of sense, because when you actually go on a weekly chart right now, this is what you are looking at. You are close to the previous level. Now, usually, if you are in the market and you are looking at any of these charts, what you understand is that the market move like this. When it come back down here, this happens to be your support, and you go back up. Now that's a new high. When you come back down again, what happens? This happens to be your support. So that is a new trend which you're watching. So right now, we are here at clear range where we don't know whether we are going to get rejected to the downside or go higher. But based on what we are observing right now here, we can actually argue that the momentum is slowly increasing. At first, it was like this, but then what happened? The market just blew off. Now, whenever the market goes higher like this, we all understand there will be some kind of correction because a lot of people would be taking profits. But what we have to keep in mind is on a macro level, we have never retested this range. And we are going to see that. So if that is the truth, then what we are observing right now is the price making a pattern. So a little bit of patience can be needed here. Why? Because if you're actually making a pattern which this shows you a shoulder, and the next side, which is like this range, if that's showing you a head, you may actually have another go. And that go may actually come back down, testing that 20,000 range and back up, which can create an inverse head and shoulder pattern breaking to the upside. That's still positive. It's just you may get another month of consolidation here. But remember, that's Bitcoin doing it. Because when you go back on a daily chart, ask what the altcoins were doing when Bitcoin consolidated here. A lot of them popped. Now, why do I say that? Because when you come back into the market and look at the return rate for the last quarter, this is how it looks like for a lot of different coins. Even if you are just focusing on last 30 days, this is how it looks like for a lot of different coins. So if you weigh in the right coin, you already made 50 to 100%, 200%, 500% in some of these. Now, it's not just in the first 100. As you go by, you're watching a lot of these different assets doing the same. We've been writing the audio, DYDX, a lot of different trades. So we actually know this, including Fetch, Rose, different trades. So we do understand that. Even today morning, we actually happened to close a trade in profit, and we highlighted that in the Twitter page as well. So now we understand that when that happened, market is consolidating, and here for Bitcoin. But on the other side, for the altcoins, it's running crazy. So if you use that information properly, that does mean when you're coming to look at these, you're going to see a lot of these coins which just corrected right now like this is going to burst back up. So if you know the fundamentals, if you understand what the technicals are suggesting for that particular asset, now you know whether that's an opportunity or not. Because for me, I'm looking at this like, okay, if we bounce back up and we get a daily close about this candle close, that's actually bullish. Now, why am I saying this? Because when you go actually into a 4-hour chart, 12-hour chart, whichever you like, look at this. You actually got a lot of activity happening here in red, but that was absorbed by the buyers. Followed up with that, sellers came back in and they pushed the price lower. But when you go on a daily, what we are observing right now, this is just the start of a new candle, so there is no confirmation yet. What's confirmed, however, is that we actually got this. Now, keep this in mind, like how many people would have been liquidated. You got a giant green volume bar with a small price action, meaning there was a lot of strength from the buyers, but the sellers kind of entered, they slowed it down. Fine. Followed by which there was only a little bit of increase in buyers, but then what happened? Sellers moved out. Great. Now, next couple of candles and the volume is going to give us the same detail. If we understand like, okay, sellers are moving out, look for a run in Bitcoin towards 30,000, maybe 29, maybe 31, but you get the point. That's the range we are talking about. But in the meantime, you will actually observe there is a lot of different coins which we have talked before. On a macro, they are actually running crazy. Because if you remove all this and you're just looking at the price, you're like, okay, this just shows like you broke about the 200-day moving average on a weekly. You came back, retested that. Right now, you're bouncing. Now, this is just Thursday here. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days and it's done. And most likely you're closing in green. Look at the RSI. What does it actually suggest to you? So there are assets in the market which is suggesting that we are going up, we are trending higher. And understand, not just one or two assets does this, right? When you get a set of assets doing something, understand people are going to take profit from these and look for opportunities on the other end. Some of them would have higher correlation with this, but a little bit lagging, right? Which are breaking through a macro level, but the RSI suggests like, okay, we are going to go burst through. Now, some of them can even be just the meme coins. Agreed, that's a fact which we are observing in the market right now. But some of them can be small caps with high fundamental, or at least turning as a fundamental asset. So right now when we are observing this, I would actually say like, okay, you keep that point to yourself like, okay, we have a doubt whether we are in a bull market or bear market, but what's happening with all these assets are like they bounce back up, they came back to this level and they are retesting that level when Bitcoin has not done that. So when Bitcoin reached to retest this range, imagine what these assets are actually going to do. They will most likely test the all-time highs or put in a new all-time high. And at that point, it's like, I regret I missed that opportunity. Saying that in a month or two will not make any difference, because after that, you literally have to wait for a very long period of time to get these kind of opportunity. That's one of the main reasons why we've been trading from last 30, 40 days actively and closing a lot of different positions in 40, 50, 60, 100% profits. Yeah, we closed one trade in negative, which was like 40%, but I'm like, if you're taking 10 trades, and you close only 1 in negative and 9 in positive with way above average in green, that's what it actually matters. You're making money. Now, if you want to buy more XRP, cool. If you think you have a small pot of XRP and you want to balloon that holding, you can always do that. But understand, the market is just starting to bounce. You're just getting opportunities. Because when you're on a weekly chart for Bitcoin, again, look at what the market showing you. Look at where the volume is right now on a weekly. You're still in green. You had a couple of red, but look at the price action there. Even though the volume was high, the candle was not that long. Why is that? Because whenever the sellers are trying to push it, a lot of sellers came in pushing through, but the price didn't go down. What does that mean? Whatever they sold was bought back by some buyers. And this weekly candle, which is, almost halfway through or closing to the ending session, is showing you that bulls are in charge, at least for this particular candle as of now. And we already touched the new range of $25,000. So if you actually keep the same chart active, and you go on a different asset in the same chart to just see how this evolves. Say, for example, we actually go into an XLM, which is highly correlated asset for XRP, and we really want to see okay, we don't have that SEC case and all, but what are we looking at? Right now, we're consistently putting lower highs. We're consistently putting lower lows. But right now, we are waiting to get a bounce. If we get a bounce and cross this level, that's like we are putting in higher highs. This is the higher low. We get a confirmation of something is changing. But that's just the large cap macro assets with a lot of highly correlated backs with XRP and others. But we do see opportunities in the market on the other end. So if you are there looking at these now, I had a call saying, okay, we may most likely bounce in Bitcoin at one range, 23,500, I think, 23,500 to 23,750, I think. And right now, when we are going back into the market, now understand when the price actually drops, it's not actually really easy to go out there and say okay, I think that the price is about to bounce from here. That usually is not one of the easiest thing to say. And when the price is actually slowing down, getting the right macro update, I think that actually matters. Because a lot of people actually understood way before we were breaking down. I was kind of giving you this highlight, okay, dollar is going up. So that means Bitcoin should slow down. Then we came up with this and posted immediately so that you guys know what we are looking at. The support range, what's the median, what's the bottom line, and it looks like the median actually held, which is actually a positive news. So if you are bouncing back above this range, you're entering into that 24 range. That means, buyers do consider this as new support or a new buying area, which is really interesting if you are looking at that. And if you are interested in these kind of posts on a regular basis where, we are hitting targets. Now, some of these assets, it kind of took 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But, I'm if you are literally going through all these targets, 3 to 4 weeks is not a bad deal. Look at what the ROI is looking like. So you actually get the pattern, the measured move, the target, and the call saying, okay, you are reaching that target, Baba, take the profit. So it's just your opinion whether you want to get into that and ride it or not. So here we actually hit the target 1. We are looking for the target 2. So you get the calls. And if you are looking for different assets and you're interested in this crypto market and you're serious about next 3 to 4, 5 months in crypto market because you think the market is about to go higher, test new highs in some of these assets, then this is going to give you some advantage in the market. You can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, if you have 3 to 5 minutes more, please do visit this channel of mine and watch the latest video. It's just 3 minutes. And if you like the content, please do hit the like and subscribe there too. And here in the Scientific Investor channel, if you received value, you learned something, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye-bye.